this one, a critical one. If these are unlocked, then know that they were about to scanning, lesson view. Yeah, okay, so this needs to definitely be fixed. Android back button is not functioning for signed in user at the moment, registered user. Okay. As a product, no, these are critical ones that and this net offline, instead of staying in the current page, it is moving to course page whenever the net goes offline and online. Launch the app, tap course and proceed to learning activity, turn off the internet, verify the issue. Okay, I'd say this is a minor one. This is really low priority. This is okay. And this Android back button is not functioning for signed in user. And my question for Valipan is, Valipan, when you kill the app, when you close the app and you run it again, is it still going to work like that? So the back button is still going to work, or is it working like that only after you've just signed in?
No. Once the user kill the app, it works perfectly. The moment registration only, it is not opening.
I see. All right. So, well, even though this is a bug, and thank you for spotting it, I'm also marking it as low priority. Okay. Because, yeah, we can survive with it. There are other things that we cannot survive without. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So let's go ahead with the review, and then we'll try to make as much planning as possible. And then we'll see if we start planning and we already plan certain things. Then we can decide whether we want to continue with the planning today, or we need to continue today, or we can postpone until tomorrow. Just, I want you all to know what you need to do before tomorrow, not to waste any more hours. Okay, so let's start with the review.
Okay. How are you going to present first?
First one is into 6.
Can you please share the screen?
Let's share my screen. Okay, 8 to 6.
So as we discussed in last stand-up, we'll keep that in backlog.
So David, we discussed this on yesterday's call, so we decided to put this in backlog and see if we get this bug again.
Okay.
So moving on to next.
Is it possible that it is related to 937, so the critical one that Valipan found? No, it's not.
No.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
So PEMOB-807, I'll share screen from middle system. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is the same test flight build we have installed in this device, David. So I'm just going in. And downloading lesson 3. Okay, so the lesson is downloaded now, and remove downloaded content is enabled. And as I told you yesterday, when we switch environments and
stop! No, why? Why did you do that? Okay, anyway, okay, so open my profile now.
Sorry, David. Okay.
And the story is when you switch it and come back, not this one. 817.
Okay. Just a minute, David.
No, switch over the. You're not sharing this.
Yeah. So I just switched to prod again, and the download. The download icon is Okay, done. And now the remote downloaded content is there, enabled.
Okay, and my question is, when you kill the app, if you kill the app, could you do that? Yeah, and show it to me again. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So as I said, the fact that, well, there is a glitch when we switch between environments is not a big deal. Did you report it so that it stays in the backlog or not?
Which one, David? Can you please come again? The UI.
Did you report the bug that when you switch between environments, this one doesn't work properly? Because I think we should have it as a bug in the backlog, minor priority, but it should stay there. Not for May release nor even July release, but we need to have it there, just not to forget about it.
Do we have that one yet?
Actually, we have commented in the same bug, but we do not have
separate. Okay, then we can
need to have a separate one.
Okay.
So
please do.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Next one, 853. So Ram is just installing the app again, David.
So 853, you need internet access. Just one minute. Yeah, okay. So you need internet access to configure app shows every time when I open the app, when I'm when I'm in offline. Yeah.
David, we have switched off Wi-Fi, but then it's connected to QuickTime, so we see that connected icon over here.
Yeah, okay. So also in this story, we need to redesign the internet page, offline internet page. So I have just installed. So now I'll just connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, now switch off the Wi-Fi. Okay, so when
this icon will keep showing when you connect to QuickTime.
Okay, that's right. So when I tap on this, so this was the issue previously. The error page was shown. So instead, we'll be showing the snack bar.
Okay, and I can see. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I can confirm that I'm playing the app on the device. Get it.
So that was the issue. And next one is
David, for 877, you said you'll get new content from David. So
I didn't receive any today yet. So let's close it, and we are going to reopen it if it appears again. Okay.
Okay, David. Yeah. So 875.
Yeah.
875 is Android back button is not functioning for the signed in user and guest user as well if the user signs out. So yeah, this is a physical device, Samsung Galaxy S7. We have connected it. So I'm just signing in David first. So after signing in, I'm using the physical back button over here. I mean, you won't be able to see it in the this thing. But then I'm moving back screen using the back button, Android hardware back button.
And if you entered startup.
Okay.
And now you tap back.
This one will work perfectly, David. These things, there was not a problem. But then after the user has signed in certain cases, there was a problem with that. So we have handled it right now.
Okay, so the bug reported by Valiburn 939. When is it going to? Back button. So when? So 939 reported by Valiburn. When does it happen then?
I'll just explain you the way. It comes when the user, we have created a new user. I'm just giving some sample data over here.
So this happens only when we create a new user, register a new user through the app and come to the My Profile page back. At the time, the back button does not respond actually.
I see. Okay, creating. Okay, all right, understood. Okay, you don't need to continue the demo. Thank you.
Okay, David.
Understood.
8, 10, shake.
So this was PEMOB-810. And audio and video divisions are placed down on the screen. This bug is happen only in Android. I made some adjustment in the Android screen. Now this is center.
Page 11.
This was fixed. And the next one is PEMOB-859. In the native language, the name of the screen is too close to the tab bar. This also fixed.
Oh, it's still not aligned in center. You can see that the center of the arrow is lower than choose your native language. They should be aligned. I think this is what this is how it should be done. So can you move it by, I don't know, let's say 2 pixels to the lower, so that choose your native language label. Its center is aligned with the center of the arrow.
Okay, there.
And that's gonna close.
Okay, I can do it.
Okay, thank you.
And one more task. PEMOB-902. As a user, I want to see the link to terms and conditions and privacy policy in my profile so that I can browse them. It's also done. This one is creating an account. And
okay, and when you tap it, does it lead us to Google or what?
No, that just created, not any tap.
So there's nothing happening when you tap it.
Yes. Yes, there.
Previously there was, well, I remember that in some, I believe in registration, we were taken to Google as far as I remember. Okay, anyway, we're going to fix that in the next sprint. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, there. Thank you.
David, regarding 925, now we have removed all the tags. We are using the content ID from the manifest. I'll go on. I scan a QR code.
Well, to be honest, look what's happening.
David?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but well, okay. And if I go offline, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just testing. Why is staging set by default? Is it in the app?
No, he's checking in his phone.
He's checking in his device.
Rod is a test.
So green is given to us is fraud.
Fraud is the default on the web.
Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just playing in the meantime. So please continue, Mahat. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay, next.
Okay, next is 917. So this was a bug where the video orientation keeps on changing to portrait and landscape, and again it keeps on changing. So I fixed that issue.
And it appeared only on Android, right? As far as I remember.
Yes, David, for both Android and iOS.
Okay, I thought it was only for Android, but anyway, okay.
So now the orientation will be perfectly fine. It will not change automatically. So that was this 917. Next.
So next one is 919 and 921. So
Why this one? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. There is still a problem with this landscape versus portrait. Look, I just played. I went into landscape, and then I exit full screen.
This is an Android or iOS?
iOS. This is iPhone 10.
I think we still have that bug thing.
The occurrence of the probability is less, I think. That's why it moved into backlog.
This is still in backlog though.
you have a bug, right?
Yes, it is
Let me see if it's still in the backlog. Okay.
We have this in backlog.
Yes.
Louis, do you remember how it was named? Because I cannot find it.
Yes, and then the probability of coming is 10. 2 in 10 times that. Yeah. So we have set the priority to low and.
Okay, I think it's part of 276 subbug. 276.
Give it in seconds.
276 subbug. 276.
It has nothing to do with the transcript, for sure.
No, but it was part of that story, so it was logged along, linked to that 276 issue, I guess. Let me just check it then.
Yeah, because, well, look, I remember that we discussed it, and we discussed that it was happening once and a number of times. But for me, it's happening every time I enter full screen. Every time I do that. So this is, and due to the fact that whenever I enter full screen, it goes into landscape. It is going to happen very often. This cannot be. Yeah, and I needed to leave this view to have it.
David, the 841 is logged for this.
But which one is that? Do you remember the number?
841.
The
Bug ID.
scenario which you are saying is 841.
Which is available in backlog.
Interesting. Misaligned video play display once user back from full screen mode. Oh, I see. Okay, I can see that. Okay, and it's actually part of 276. Okay. I don't know why it's part of 276, but okay, it's there.
And bug 917 is for when the user move to portrait view, the video will often change into landscape and portrait vice versa. So the user can't able to see it. It will be changing automatically. So now it has been fixed, and this 917 is related to that only.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's continue.
919.
Next one is 919 and 921. So both have same meaning. That is getting your offline message when we switch different environment. So
No, don't show it to me. I can see that, and it is working fine. The only problem is that if I'm offline and I switch between environments, it still gets stuck at this offline message. So this is the only issue. But okay.
no, David, at least in each and every environment, for first time you need an internet connectivity. Otherwise, it will show that connectivity error page.
Let me see. Let me see then. Okay, so I'm just entering airport. Okay, I'm switching to staging. Yes, you are absolutely right. Okay, all right. You don't need to. Don't show it to me. I can see that.
And one more thing is the task 926 make products default. You can see that.
It is. I confirm that.
Okay.
So regarding 901, we had a discussion, David, regarding this.
Mm-hmm.
So will we be having this as a separate story in the backlog, or?
No, let's not just close it, because this one is not well. You put comments there, and but we still need to add a comment as discussed that the call this feature is a requirement and will have to be covered at some point. We can accept it as a spillover, but the story must remain in the backlog for future implementation. So I think that we should leave it as is. When it goes back to the backlog, I'm gonna reprioritize it. Okay. We're not going to cover that in the next sprint, but we're going to keep it in the backlog.
Okay, David.
So the question for Kalpana and for any statistics reports, etc. Because this cannot be fixed in this sprint. Do you want me to descope it now before I close the sprint, or we accept it as a spillover and end of story?
We could have descoped it much earlier, I believe.
Okay, all right. So I'm descoping this one.
Okay.
And I'm putting it under May release. June release. Maybe we'll be able to visit that. Okay, descoped.
I'm 856.
So I have missed PEMOB-856. We need to show the registration success page. So Yeah.
And now when you tap sign in,
it will go to login page.
Okay. And is it working exactly the same on iOS?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to demo in iOS?
No.
Okay. So that's it.
Moving to 731. So this is to show the same stage of progress in both pages, in units and lesson speed. I'm just downloading this audio lesson. You can see here starting the download. So when I go inside that lesson, you can see the same stage of progress inside.
Okay, I already saw that, but the question is, could you show me the bug that is still there? Because I cannot reproduce it.
Okay, the bug is when we try to cancel something. So I'm starting the download, and if I cancel it here, so it sometimes keeps on downloading. So the bug is in canceling the downloads. This is the bug.
Okay, and do we have a story for that? Was it reported?
It's the 938, I think.
So it's still in this story, right?
It should be treated as a sub-bug.
Yeah, it is created as sub-bug only. The story ID is 938, PEMOB-938.
I see. Okay, but we need to keep it. Well, this is going to be a spillover then, because well, this needs to be fixed.
So priority as major only.
And shape.
Sure.
All done.
Yeah. Okay, 876. Okay, 920 and 876. So when we come out of the video player in Android, the app stays in landscape. It's add. So when you play this video, I go to landscape, and when I close it, it will not be in landscape. It will be in portrait only. So that was 920.
Okay, so you fixed it in Android, but it still appears in iOS. Then is that correct?
Okay. David, so this happens in Android when we press. So when the app is in, when the video is in full screen, and when you tap the back button, so now.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Okay, let's try to reproduce the thing that I had on iOS. Please tap play.
Okay.
And now enter full screen.
Okay.
Okay. And now exit full screen by tapping the full screen button.
Okay.
Okay, so it is working fine on Android now.
Yeah.
It is not working fine on iOS. Because in iOS, if you take these steps, you're going to be stuck in the landscape mode. Okay?
Yeah. So, so moving to 876. the audio and video files keep playing on Android. So so let's say if I'm playing this video earlier, once it reaches the end, it will again start to play from the beginning. So now it will not. It will just stop after finishing playing. So it stopped after playing, and same thing for audio.
Okay, great.
So when I play it, so it stops after playing.
Okay, thank you.
876.
Okay. So that's all with the review, David. And David just raised a question about you want to share.
Stop sharing.
You can stop.
Regarding automation, we are finding the best solutions for playing activities. Other than activities, we can able to perform everything. David?
Yep.
Regarding automation of PPV, we are finding the best solutions for activities like drag and drop, fill in the blanks objectives, radio button, and scanning. Other than these scanning and playing activities, for the outer part we can cover with automation, like create an account, like everything. Other than activities and scanning, we can do. So for scanning, I don't think it is applicable or not. They are finding the best solutions, and I'm in touch with some of our friends. So we'll get things soon, and we'll get back to you.
Okay. All right. So for the time, so just to okay. So for activities, do we really need to? What do you mean by automated testing of activities? Do you mean really opening activities and playing with them, or just checking if they're open?
Yeah, correctly. The playing activity, opening activity and closing activity I can do, but playing the activity is only the problem is.
To be honest, I wouldn't cover that with automated testing. On the basis of my experience with the activities, they behave so inconsistently across devices that, to be honest, for the time being, I wouldn't cover them in automated testing until we reach a level that is satisfactory. So I wouldn't worry about that, to be honest. If we can skip this one, the rest can be absolutely covered with automated testing. That would be great.
The major part is scanning only. So we don't know how to pass the QR to scan in automation. So just only we are finding the solution.
I see.
Your the code, you can use the check code. Without scanning, you can put the access code and do that.
So do we skip the scan part also?
Well, if you do not have a proper solution for that right now, this is just one, well, important, but not the most important piece of functionality, right? So this can be tested manually if need be, right?
Then everything can be done.
Okay, great. That's good news.
In the meanwhile, you said me to you said me to remember that in our menu we have a camera in the down now. See, you need to change into courses as in the design.
Let me just show you the.
Yeah.
So what he means is this: in the tab bar, you can see the scan name. So he's saying
you
that
said me to remember later that you need to change into course like and the design.
I see. Okay. I would leave it as is for the time being because, well, all these strings and the entire app has already been reviewed by a copywriter, and they didn't object to that it says scan. So let's gather some feedback from users. If they get confused, then we're going to change it. But for the time being, let's leave it as is. Okay?
Okay, so when you can, in the current or the next sprint, can you take up a story for the automation? You can begin working on the automation part, right? Okay. And David, did we get back from Paul and Gerard and Ashish regarding the release date?
I heard from Paul that he would be chasing Ashish. That's it.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah. So, but as I said, as I responded to Manik, we are continuing as if we were supposed to, because, well, if we do not, the only question is whether we push the app to the App Store and Google Play, or we distribute it with Test Fairy, Test Lite, etc. Right?
Yeah.
This is not a question of switching between production and staging environments. No, it's go to stores, not go to stores. That's how I understand it. So regardless of which one we pick, we still need to deliver a good product that is going to work fine in production environment, right? And even if there is a decision that we are not going into a production environment, but we are staying in staging, we also need to keep the same functionality. The only difference is going to be switching between staging and production as default. End of story. So let's just continue our work, okay?
Okay.
It doesn't affect us at all, I think.
Yes, okay. So, and accessibility audit, we promised them like we will give the build today. So, should we go ahead with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then we will provide the build iOS and Android today to the audit team. Okay. Any other questions here? And David, just a curious question. I emailed Manik for the details, right? Did that cause any chaos or?
You mean you emailed Manik about the dates? You mean the one from last week?
Yes.
No, Kalpana, no, thank you very much for that. You behaved absolutely properly. Everything was absolutely fine. So thank you for that. Well, I saw your email and it was absolutely fine. I think that, well, we could have waited with this decision that was made on that day until I come back. This was the only, but this wasn't related to you or me, right? So this is my only comment because we didn't take into account the business part. That was the only issue. But well, no, absolutely, everything was correct that you responded. Actually, well, the only thing was this suggestion about sales, but you confirmed that. Well, you said that I would need to confirm that because you might you didn't need to be aware of that, and absolutely everything is absolutely fine, Kalpana. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So that's all I had. Shall we proceed with the planning then?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna complete the sprint.
Just a minute, David.
Yep.
We can close one story, right? 877.
I can see 5 issues were incomplete.
877.
There should be just one. As far as I remember, or 2.
Hold on for a second, David. This area is.
Okay. Close down. Please go.
You can just. Done, right? We are done, David. It can be closed now.
4 issues.
4 issues. 845.
Regression testing is still not completed.
Yes, then.
The same stage of the download process, but this is a spillover. And there was another one, video often changing its orientation. No, it's closed.
807, 826, 731, and 845 are spillovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so other sorry. As far as I remember, we have one spillover with the same stage of the download process in unit and lesson view because there is a bug with canceling. Another spillover, let's call it a spillover, is back button is not functioning for signed in user. No, it's a separate story. So this one is closed. Okay. Remove download content link disabled. It is still in progress because of the bug with switching between environments. Right? Is that correct?
Yes.
David, we have a
Remove content 07.
just a minute.
Yes, we have a bug that has to be created.
Yeah.
So,
Separate bug has to be created for the.
So please close 807.
is it linked to 807 or is it a separate bug?
I would make it a separate bug.
Yeah, separate bug was fine for that.
Then I think we can create a bug. It's closed now.
Okay. All right, and regression testing, should it still be opened in testing?
Yes, the few issues are still open.
Okay, I see. Understood. Okay, so now everything is okay. Okay, I'm completing the sprint.
Yeah, David, just a minute, David. So
I've just completed it, sorry.
Okay.
What is it now?
Actually, in PEMOB-856, this
856.
commented for translation strings.
Oh, okay. So only that alone is. You are waiting for 903 in backup and story for the finding the body strings. We can cover that as part of 903. 856.
856.
Okay.
So we can cover this.
David, Ram has requested for translations under 856.
856, okay.
Yeah. So, but that can be covered under another issue 903, which is in backlog. So that shouldn't be a problem then.
Let me see. In 856, I don't have any request for translations. Oh, I can see. And then there was design matching the Zeppelin working fine. Okay, all right. That's why I missed it. I saw that Valipan responded, everything was working fine, and then I missed these. Well, okay. So you believe that it should go into the backlog, right?
We already have an issue 903.
We can cover.
903.
So we can add those strings in 903.
Oh, it's well, yeah, okay. You're right. You're absolutely right. That would be the best solution. Yeah. Okay.
I think the sheet has to be updated. Or is it already?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so Ram will update it.
Yeah, we'll update the sheet.
Okay, so Ram will update the strings here.
Okay, and please, Ram, please let me know when you do that, so that I have a trace, so that I have an action point to continue. Okay, so just ping me. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with the planning, right? Can we? And let's have the retro tomorrow.
Yes, David.
Let's do as much planning as possible today, and so that we can make it smoother tomorrow. So no, I'm not. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. I've just wanted to create another issue for some reason instead of a sprint. Okay. So create sprint. So the first thing needs to be this one: app crash online offline critical. Let me just see if user unlock and download the unlocked activities through scanning and clicking on the same listen view. Install and open the app. Click Start a level course. Tap Scan and unlock the level. Download an activity through scanning. My question, Valipan, is, does it apply to only scanning activities or scanning lesson QR codes as well? This is a critical piece of information.
So I can upload a video there if it is not
No. My question is, because scanning can be used for two purposes. You scan and open an activity, or you scan and open a lesson. Does it happen in both?
No.
Or just in the one with scan and open an activity?
So we have checked with the activity. We'll confirm with the lesson and update a comment there.
That's critical, because if it doesn't happen in scanning the lesson, we don't need to cover that absolutely until July, right? So this is a critical piece of information. So I'm not going to put it in this. Let's not discuss it. And please, Valipan, please focus when you test scanning. Focus on scanning lessons and access codes. Do not focus on scanning activities. It is an important piece of functionality, but it hasn't been requested by any business party so far, right? It was requested some time ago, but it's not a requirement anymore, right? So when testing scanning, focus on scanning lesson view. Scanning activities should be the second one, okay?
Okay, David.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm not going to, let's not discuss it for now. I'm gonna put it lower, right? I'm gonna put a comment.
No, wait. David, here there are two scenarios, David. Lipan has identified. One is offline scenario and one is online scenario. So in online, I guess we need, it is happening every time, right? So I guess we need to take that because it is crashing.
Yeah. One more time, it is happening in online mode also. So at the time, what?
That's not the question from the week. That is only from lesson or from activity.
That's what I will check with
You
lesson.
said you check with lesson and update it.
Add a comment.
Okay.
So what are we going to do with that? Do you still want to confirm that it requires scanning an activity or not?
I will scan a lesson and update in a comment, then we can decide it.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going to include it in the sprint yet.
Okay.
Regression testing. This one needs to default language select not working while user click on the create a new account. This is a bug. Partially downloaded audio consoles are open once user cancel download option. Right. Partially downloaded audio console open once user cancel download option. Well, this needs to go into the sprint. Spike, Android. After some time after installation, when the user runs the app, it hangs on the launch screen. This is the one. Okay, that hasn't been resolved. Okay. You should go here. Okay, I'm going to give you a low priority right now. As user, I'm on the same stage of the download process in the unit and lesson view so that I can monitor it. Even though this is very important, no, it's not the most critical one right now. It's not necessary for release. Okay, so the first thing, as a product owner, I want to have the app prepared for release so that it can be released on time, right? So the app requires certain elements to be put in place in order to release it on both platforms. For example, the icon, right? Please put all the necessary elements in the description or comments. And I don't mean metadata here. I don't mean description, keywords. No, I mean what you as developers need in order to be able to submit the app for review around 25th of May. If there isn't anything apart from the icon, we can close it because the icon is currently being reviewed by marketing. And I told marketing that we need to have the final icon by 18th of May at the latest. So it's Friday, so that we still have 1 or 2 days in order to put the icon in place. I hope to receive it because I have the icon already. Let me show it to you, by the way. but it still hasn't been approved by marketing. That's why we're stuck with ABC now. I'm gonna show you without ABC. Yeah. Nope, not this one. Yeah. This is the icon, right? That's what it should look like. So it has already been designed. The only thing that I'm waiting for is an approval from marketing. When I receive it, I'm gonna share the icon with you immediately. Okay. But if they reject it for some reason, I will need to ask Claudio to redesign it a bit, and I will share it with you as soon as possible. But I want to have such a story so that you can put comments that we need this one, we need this one, we need this one. Okay. So the thing is that this can be just a discussion, an internal meeting between you as developers, right? So that you can put comments what you would need.
Okay. Okay, David.
So can we estimate it?
Shake. Is it shake still?
But this is fully DevOps.
Not only icons, more apart from that, setting the properties in stores.
It's fully DevOps.
But we have to put it in.
No, whatever they need, we can provide. So, because we need to list out what are things needed. I think we we can, but first we need to contact with the DevOps and confirm what all we need, or is it ready already, like that. We need to confirm that, and then we can shoot it. Maybe tomorrow, if that is fine. David, first we'll contact with the DevOps team, so they manage all these things. So first, speak to them and confirm what all the things we need for this. So, and then we can estimate it, and we can have this as a release task instead of story.
Okay, understood. And who's going to be responsible for that? Who could be the assignee? Okay. Panic, you can wait. Okay. As a user, I want to okay. As a user, I want to be able to browse terms and conditions and privacy policy. Currently, when the user taps the terms of service and privacy policy links in the app, she gets redirected to Google. That's why I asked Sheikh about that, because previously it was Google. The app should open HTML files containing appropriate content instead. To handle the situation in which different countries have to use different files, we should have a menu page, see attachment, from which the user can pick a particular country and region. For the time being, the menu should contain only the United States of America. Attached are both files which have to be first formatted in the previous file. So when I tap terms and conditions and privacy policy, I should see something like that. Okay. This is borrowed from Pulse. Manik will know this screen very well. Okay, and we should have just the United States of America here, right? Just the United States of America, no other country. And when I tap it, Sheikh, well, I'm sure Sheikh remembers that he needed to format privacy policy and terms and conditions for another product. And here we would need to apply the same format for these files that are attached to this story. And these are terms and conditions and privacy policy. They're doubled because of the bug in Jira. Bugs in Jira are, well, the worst thing that you can think about. So yeah, so they need to be formatted. They need to be put somewhere, probably as 3, but this would probably need to be discussed with Manik, where to put these things. And when I tap terms and conditions, I should see such a menu. When I tap United States of America, I should see a formatted, let's say, privacy policy. And it's exactly the same way as we did previously, so a doc file that needs to be converted into HTML. So in my opinion, this is all for shake. But well, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry.
So just sorry for the interruption. Can we stop and continue later?
Yes, I thought that we would just estimate this one and assign this one.
Okay, then.
We need to create the screen and on tap we should create a tap. This should be in model view, right? That countries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
3 points, David.
Okay. Is it for shake?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this one is clear. Okay, so we can stop right now. So Kalpana, I'm gonna wait for you for some information from you. I may be busy at some point, so please bear with me. I will respond as soon as possible. Right. So let's try to hold it today. What time is it for you?
2:55.
Now it's 3 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to make it today. If not, let's make it tomorrow morning. We can start it 30 minutes before the daily at 7:30. That's going to be fine with me as well.
Okay.
Just not to waste any more time. Okay.
Sure, David.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Bye, David.
Bye, David.
Have fun.